Have you ever wondered why a simple Amish cow produces 3 times more milk than those in massive factory farms? While modern dairy corporations invest millions in technology, automation, and scientific breeding programs, a small Amish farmer, with traditional methods, is achieving the impossible. No hormones, no fancy equipment, no computerized systems, just pure, age-old wisdom that's been passed down through generations. What secret do these humble farmers know that billion-dollar industries have completely missed? The answer will challenge everything you thought you knew about milk production. Stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal will absolutely blow your mind. Welcome to Amish Forge, where we uncover the timeless wisdom and practices of Amish communities that continue to outperform modern industrial methods. I'm your host, and today we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating agricultural mysteries of our time. Picture this. On one side, you have massive factory farms with thousands of cows, cutting-edge technology, veterinary teams, and nutritionists on staff. On the other side, a simple Amish farmer with a small herd, basic tools, and traditional methods. Yet somehow, that Amish farmer's cows are producing 3 times more milk. How is this even possible? In the next 30 minutes, we'll explore 12 remarkable factors that make this phenomenon real. And trust me, each one will surprise you more than the last. The milk mystery. When we talk about milk production in America, we're looking at 2 completely different worlds. On one hand, you have these massive factory farms. We're talking about facilities that house thousands of cows, operating like well-oiled machines with every detail monitored by computers and managed by teams of specialists. These industrial operations have access to the latest research, the most advanced breeding techniques, and unlimited resources to maximize every drop of milk. They've invested billions into creating what they believe is the perfect dairy system. But here's where it gets absolutely mind-blowing. A typical factory farm cow produces around 8 to 10 gallons of milk per day. That's already impressive by historical standards, and the industry celebrates these numbers as proof of modern agricultural success. They've pushed productivity to levels that would have seemed impossible just 50 years ago. The average factory cow is essentially a highly optimized biological machine, bred specifically for maximum output. Now let's shift our focus to a small Amish farm in Pennsylvania, Ohio, or Indiana. Picture a modest barn, maybe 20 to 30 cows, a farmer who wakes up before dawn and knows each animal by name. No computerized milking systems, no team of veterinarians on call, no scientifically formulated feed mixtures delivered by trucks. Just traditional methods that have remained virtually unchanged for generations. You'd think these cows would produce less milk, right? That's what logic would tell us. That's what every modern agricultural expert would predict. But you'd be completely wrong. These Amish cows are producing an astounding 25 to 30 gallons per day. Yes, you heard that right, 3 times more milk than their factory farm counterparts. We're not talking about a slight increase or a marginal improvement. We're talking about a massive, undeniable difference that flies in the face of everything modern agriculture stands for. This isn't just happening on one farm or with one exceptional cow. This is a consistent pattern across Amish dairy communities. The implications of this difference are staggering. If a small-scale operation with minimal technology can outperform industrial giants by such a massive margin, what does that tell us about our approach to food production? What fundamental truths have we overlooked in our rush to industrialize everything? The answer lies in 12 critical factors that we're about to explore, and each one reveals something profound about the relationship between animals, farmers, and the land itself. Traditional breeding methods, the foundation of exceptional milk production, starts long before a cow ever enters the milking barn. It begins with how that cow came into existence. Amish farmers approach breeding with a philosophy that's radically different from modern industrial practices. While factory farms rely on artificial insemination using semen from bulls selected purely for specific genetic traits related to milk volume, Amish communities take a holistic approach that considers the entire animal in the Amish system. Breeding is about maintaining and strengthening bloodlines that have proven themselves over decades, sometimes over a century. These farmers keep detailed mental records, and sometimes written ones, of family trees going back generations. They know which cows consistently produced healthy calves, which ones had strong immune systems, which ones lived longest, and which ones maintained steady production without health problems. This isn't just about milk quantity. It's about creating resilient, healthy animals that thrive in natural conditions. Factory farms have largely abandoned traditional breeds in favor of Holstein Friesian hybrids engineered for maximum milk output. These animals are the result of intensive selective breeding, focused almost exclusively on production numbers. The problem: these cows often suffer from weakened immune systems, shorter lifespans, and numerous health complications. They're like race cars, built for speed, but requiring constant maintenance and breaking down frequently. Amish farmers, meanwhile, often work with Jersey, Guernsey, and traditional Swiss breeds animals that may be smaller but are incredibly hardy. These breeds have evolved over centuries in environments similar to Amish farms. They're adapted to grazing on pasture, handling varied weather conditions, and maintaining health without constant veterinary intervention. More importantly, the milk these traditional breeds produce is notably richer in butterfat and protein, meaning higher quality accompanies higher quantity. The breeding selection process itself is entirely different. Amish farmers observe their cows daily, watching for temperament, mothering ability, grazing efficiency, and overall vitality. A bull is selected not from a catalog but from observing actual animals. Does he come from a line of healthy, long-lived cows? Does he exhibit calm, manageable behavior? Is his mother still producing milk at an age when factory cows would have been culled? These practical considerations create animals perfectly suited to their environment. Perhaps most importantly, Amish breeding practices maintain genetic diversity. Factory farms, in their quest for uniformity and predictability, have created populations with dangerously narrow genetic bases. This makes entire herds vulnerable to diseases and reduces adaptability. Amish herds, with their varied bloodlines and traditional breeds, possess genetic resilience that translates directly into healthier animals and, ultimately, more abundant milk production. Natural diet secrets: if you want to understand why Amish cows produce so much more milk, you need to understand what these animals are actually eating, and the contrast with factory farm diets is shocking. Walk into an industrial dairy operation and you'll see cows consuming what's called total mixed ration, or TMR. This is essentially a scientifically formulated mixture of corn, silage, soybean meal, grain byproducts, and various supplements all mixed together. It's designed for one purpose: maximum milk output at minimum cost. The problem with this approach runs deeper than you might think. Cows are ruminants. They evolved over millions of years to eat grass. Their complex four-chambered stomach system is specifically designed to break down cellulose from fresh pasture. When you feed them primarily grain and corn, you're essentially fueling a diesel engine with gasoline. It might run, but it's not operating as designed, and problems inevitably develop. Factory farm cows eating these high-grain diets frequently suffer from acidosis, a condition where their stomach pH becomes too acidic. This leads to inflammation, reduced immune function, and decreased nutrient absorption. They also experience bloat, liver problems, and digestive issues that require medication and intervention. The cows are essentially existing in a state of managed illness, kept productive through pharmaceutical intervention rather than genuine health. Now step onto an Amish farm during growing season, and you'll see something completely different. Cows are out on pasture, grazing on a diverse mixture of grasses, clover, alfalfa, and various herbs and plants. This isn't a monoculture lawn, it's a complex ecosystem. The variety matters tremendously. Different plants provide different nutrients, and the cows instinctively select what they need. You'll see a cow nibble clover for a while, then move to tall grass, then sample some chicory or plantain growing among the pasture. This diverse diet provides an incredibly rich nutritional profile. Fresh grass is loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, beta-carotene, vitamin E, and conjugated linoleic acid nutrients that are minimal or absent in grain-based feeds. The milk from grass-fed cows is visibly different, often having a golden tint from the beta-carotene. More importantly, these nutrients support robust immune function, hormone production, and overall metabolic health. Seasonal variation also plays a crucial role. In spring, when grass is lush and growing rapidly, the nutritional content peaks. Amish farmers work with these natural rhythms rather than fighting them. During winter, when fresh pasture isn't available, cows receive high-quality hay that the farmer cut at optimal times and cured properly. They might supplement with root vegetables, pumpkins, and other whole foods, not processed grain concentrates. The result? Cows that maintain healthy body condition have strong immune systems and produce abundant milk without being pushed beyond their natural capacity. Their digestive systems function as nature intended. Their bodies aren't fighting constant inflammation, and they're genuinely thriving rather than just surviving. Stress-free environment. Stress is an invisible killer in dairy production, and it's one area where the difference between Amish farms and factory operations becomes crystal clear. To understand this, we need to talk about cortisol, the stress hormone that affects every mammal, including cows. When an animal experiences chronic stress, cortisol levels remain elevated, and this has devastating effects on milk production, immune function, and overall health. Walk into a typical factory farm, and your senses are immediately assaulted. The noise level alone is overwhelming. Thousands of cows moving, machinery running constantly, ventilation systems humming, automated feeders clanking. The lighting is artificial and often kept on for extended periods to maximize production. The air, despite ventilation systems, carries the heavy smell of concentrated waste. For a cow, whose senses are far more acute than ours, this environment is intensely stressful. These facilities operate on tight schedules and maximum efficiency. Cows are moved through systems quickly, often with electric prods or aggressive handling. When they don't move fast enough, they're confined to spaces where they can't exhibit natural behaviors. They can't groom each other properly, can't establish normal social hierarchies, can't walk away from aggressive herd members. Many spend their entire lives on concrete floors, which causes hoof problems and joint pain. This isn't just uncomfortable, it's physiologically damaging. Research has definitively shown that stressed cows produce less milk and milk of lower quality. Chronic stress suppresses the hormones necessary for milk letdown, particularly oxytocin. It weakens immune function, making cows more susceptible to mastitis and other infections. Stressed animals also have higher rates of reproductive problems, meaning lower conception rates and more difficulty maintaining herd numbers. Now contrast this with an Amish farm. The moment you arrive, you notice the quiet. You hear birds maybe, the soft sound of cows chewing cud, the farmer talking gently to his animals. The cows move at their own pace, grazing across pasture, lying down in shade when it's hot, seeking shelter when weather turns bad. They're expressing natural behaviors that millions of years of evolution programmed into them. Social structures on Amish farms remain intact. Cows form friendships, maintain hierarchies peacefully, and aren't constantly disrupted by animals being moved in and out of groups. Mothers can interact with their calves longer than in factory systems. Young cows learn from older ones how to behave, how to graze efficiently, where the best spots are in the barn. This social stability reduces anxiety and creates a genuinely calm herd. The handling is gentle and consistent. Amish farmers work with their cows daily, approaching them calmly, speaking softly, moving deliberately. The cows recognize their farmer's voice and presence. There's no rushing, no aggression, no fear. When it's time to come in for milking, cows move willingly because the experience isn't stressful. This trust between human and animal might seem intangible, but its effects on production are very real. The result is cows with lower cortisol levels, better immune function, more efficient nutrient absorption, and optimal hormone balance for milk production. They're not just producing more milk, they're doing it while being genuinely content and healthy. Manual milking advantage. The way milk is extracted from a cow matters far more than most people realize. And this is where Amish practices diverge dramatically from industrial methods in ways that directly impact production. Factory farms use automated milking systems, mechanical devices that work quickly and efficiently, processing dozens or even hundreds of cows per hour. On the surface, this seems logical and progressive. But when we dig into the biology of milk production, a very different picture emerges. Milk letdown in cows is controlled by hormones, primarily oxytocin. This hormone is released in response to specific stimuli, the physical sensation of nursing, or milking, yes, but also emotional and environmental factors. Oxytocin is sometimes called the bonding hormone because it's released during positive social interactions. For milk to flow freely and completely, a cow needs to be relaxed, comfortable, and experiencing that oxytocin release. This is basic mammalian biology that applies to humans nursing babies just as much as it applies to dairy cows. Automated milking machines operate with no accommodation for individual animals. Some cows finish faster than others, but the machine doesn't adjust. This retained milk not only means lost production, but also increases the risk of mastitis, an infection of the udder that plagues factory farms and reduces milk quality and quantity. Now watch an experienced Amish farmer hand milk a cow, and you'll see something entirely different. The process begins with the farmer approaching the cow calmly, speaking to her, perhaps scratching her favorite spot. The cow recognizes this routine and begins relaxing immediately. The farmer washed individual attention. If 1/4 of the udder is producing more slowly, he'll spend more time there. If a cow is particularly full and milking quickly, he'll work out in a relaxed state. The oxytocin release is sustained rather than brief. The farmer can notice any changes in the milk or udder, immediately early signs of infection, changes in milk flow, or physical issues. Early detection means problems are addressed before they become serious. Herd size impact the size of a dairy operation fundamentally problems become obvious enough to warrant attention. They're often serious enough to require aggressive intervention, or culling the animals, become statistics and numbers on a spreadsheet. This lack of individual attention, but no adjustment is made. Social conflicts within the herd go unmanaged because no one notices when particular animals are being bullied or stressed by others. All of these factors chip away at productivity and health. Factory farms compensate for these problems with technology and medication. Antibiotics are used more liberally to prevent infections that result from stress and poor conditions. Hormones are administered to maximize production beyond natural levels. Veterinary interventions become routine rather than exceptional. The cows are kept productive through constant management of problems rather than prevention of problems. This is expensive, reduces milk quality, and still doesn't achieve the production levels of well-cared-for animals. An Amish dairy farm tells a completely different story. These operations typically maintain herds of 20 to 50 cows, small, enough that the farmer knows every single animal individually. He knows which cow is the leader of the herd, which ones are timid, which ones are particularly gentle or more aggressive. He knows Bessie prefers the far corner of the pasture and Daisy always drinks from the trough nearest the barn door. This intimate knowledge seems quaint, but it has profound practical implications. When you know your animals this well, you notice immediately when something is off. The farmer sees that one cow isn't grazing with her usual enthusiasm, or that another seems to be moving stiffly. He notices changes in milk production from one milking to the next, not just weekly averages. This allows for immediate intervention, adjusting feed, providing rest, addressing minor health issues before they become major problems. Early intervention is always more effective and less disruptive than crisis management. Small herd sizes also allow for nutritional customization. While the entire herd might eat similar base diets, the farmer can provide supplements to specific animals that need them. A cow recovering from calving might get extra protein. An older cow might receive supplements to support joint health. A particularly high producer might get additional energy-rich foods. This flexibility optimizes each animal's health and productivity. Social dynamics function naturally in smaller herds. Cows establish stable hierarchies without constant disruption. They form friendship bonds and maintain them. Younger animals learn from experienced herd members. The stress of overcrowding, competition for resources, and aggressive encounters is minimized. The herd becomes a functional social unit rather than a chaotic crowd, and this social stability directly impacts stress levels and production. Chemical-free approach, the use of chemicals, hormones, and antibiotics in modern dairy farming has become so normalized that most people don't even question it anymore. Factory farms routinely administer recombinant bovine growth hormone, known as RBGH or RBST, to increase milk production. This synthetic hormone forces a cow's body to produce more milk than it naturally would, pushing biological systems beyond their intended limits. The results might look good on production charts, but the reality for the animals is far different. Cows treated with RBGH experience significantly higher rates of mastitis, lameness, and reproductive problems. Their bodies are working overtime, depleting nutrients faster than they can be replenished. To combat the resulting health issues, factory farms use antibiotics regularly, not just to treat sick animals, but preventatively. This practice has contributed to antibiotic resistance, a growing public health crisis that threatens the effectiveness of medicines humans depend on. The chemical approach extends beyond hormones and antibiotics. Factory cows receive pesticides for parasite control, growth promoters, and various medications to manage the diseases that result from their living conditions. Their feed contains preservatives, synthetic vitamins, and processing chemicals. Every aspect of their biology is managed through pharmaceutical intervention rather than natural health. Maintenance. Amish farmers reject this entire system completely. Their approach is simple: create conditions where animals stay naturally healthy rather than treating sickness. No growth hormones ever. No routine antibiotics, no chemical interventions, unless absolutely necessary, and even then, natural remedies are tried first. This isn't just philosophical, it's practical. Healthy animals don't need constant medication when an Amish cow does fall ill. The farmer's first response involves natural remedies passed down through generations: herbal treatments for digestive issues, poultices for infections, nutritional adjustments to support healing. These methods work because the cow's immune system is strong and functional, not suppressed by chronic stress and poor nutrition. The animal's body can actually fight off infections and heal itself. When given proper support, the long-term effects of this chemical-free approach are remarkable. Amish cows typically live much longer than factory cows, often producing milk for 10 to 12 years, compared to just 4 or 5 years in industrial operations. Their reproductive systems remain functional longer, their immune systems stay robust, and they maintain body condition without artificial supports. This longevity means each cow produces far more milk over her lifetime, even accounting for natural rest periods. The milk itself is different. Without hormones, antibiotics, and chemical residues, it's cleaner and more nutritious. Studies have shown that milk from cows not treated with RBGH has better nutritional profiles and doesn't carry the potential health concerns associated with hormone residues. Cow comfort, priority comfort, might sound like a luxury when discussing livestock, but for dairy cows, it's a biological necessity that directly impacts milk production. A cow that's physically uncomfortable experiences stress, which we've already established reduces milk output. But comfort goes beyond just stress. It affects rest, digestion, circulation, and virtually every bodily function necessary for optimal production. Factory farms house cows in concrete-floored barns or dirt lots with minimal shade or shelter. Concrete is easy to clean and durable, but it's absolutely terrible for cow comfort. Standing on hard surfaces all day causes hoof problems, joint inflammation, and leg injuries. Many factory cows develop painful conditions like sole ulcers and digital dermatitis. They spend less time lying down because it's uncomfortable, which means less time ruminating and properly digesting their food. Space is another critical comfort factor that factory farms sacrifice for efficiency. Crowded conditions mean cows can't move freely, can't find comfortable resting spots, and compete constantly for space at feed bunks and water troughs. This crowding creates physical discomfort and social stress, both of which reduce production. Temperature regulation poses huge challenges in large facilities. Cows generate significant body heat, and when thousands are housed together, temperatures soar. Factory farms use fans and sometimes sprinkler systems, but these are often inadequate. Heat stress causes cows to eat less, drink more water, and produce significantly less milk. Cold stress in winter, especially with inadequate bedding, has similar negative effects. Amish barns tell a completely different story. The floors are typically covered with thick, clean bedding, straw or sawdust that provides cushioning and insulation. Cows can lie down comfortably, which they do for 10 to 12 hours daily. This rest time is when rumination happens most effectively, meaning better digestion and nutrient absorption. Comfortable cows also have better blood circulation. And healthier joints, space is abundant on Amish farms. Each cow has room to move naturally, stretch, turn around easily, and choose where to rest. There's no competition for resources because feed and water are plentiful and accessible. Cows can express natural behaviors like grooming each other, which strengthens social bonds and reduces stress. Temperature management is natural and effective. Amish barns are designed with proper ventilation that doesn't rely on electricity. Strategically placed windows, doors, and vents create airflow that keeps buildings cool in summer. In winter, the combination of animal body heat and deep bedding keeps the barn warm enough. Cows can move between indoor and outdoor areas freely, choosing the environment that's most comfortable at any given time. Access to pasture during good weather provides the ultimate comfort: soft ground, fresh air, sunshine, and freedom to move. These aren't luxuries. They're basic needs that Amish farmers recognize and provide. Seasonal rhythms. Modern agriculture has declared war on nature's rhythms, trying to force year-round production regardless of natural cycles. Factory farms keep cows pregnant and milking continuously, manipulating reproduction through hormones and artificial insemination to ensure consistent milk flow every single day. Lighting is controlled artificially, extending daylight to maximize production. The goal is eliminating natural variation to create predictable, constant output. This approach ignores fundamental biological realities. All mammals, including cows, evolved with seasonal patterns. Hormone levels, metabolism, reproduction, and energy allocation naturally fluctuate throughout the year. Fighting these patterns requires constant intervention and stresses the animal's entire system. It's like forcing a human to maintain peak athletic performance 365 days a year with no rest or recovery. Eventually, the body breaks down. Factory cows are typically rebarred within months of calving, sometimes while still producing high milk volumes. This means their bodies are simultaneously supporting milk during this period, depleting their reserves to dangerous levels. Their immune systems suffer, making them vulnerable to disease quickly enough are culled. This constant reproductive pressure, combined with the physical stress of year-round milking, explains why factory cows typically only last 4 to 5 years before their bodies give out completely. Amish farmers work with seasonal rhythms rather than against them. Their breeding schedules align with natural patterns. Cows are bred in late spring or early summer, so they calve in spring when fresh grass is abundant. This timing provides optimal nutrition during the energy-intensive period after calving. The mothers produce milk when feed quality peaks, and their bodies are naturally primed for lactation. Rest periods are built into the system. As autumn arrives and grass quality declines, milk production naturally decreases. Amish farmers allow this rather than forcing continued high production through grain supplementation. Cows that are late in their lactation may be dried off for the winter, giving their bodies time to recover, rebuild reserves, and prepare for the next calf. This seasonal approach means production isn't constant throughout the year. It's higher in spring and summer, lower in fall and winter. From an industrial perspective, this seems inefficient, but looking at individual cow health and lifetime production, it's far superior. The rest periods allow bodies to recover, immune systems to strengthen, and reproductive systems to function naturally. Soil and pasture quality. Everything in farming ultimately comes back to soil. And this is where Amish practices demonstrate profound wisdom that modern agriculture has largely abandoned. Factory farms view soil as merely a medium to hold plants upright, while synthetic fertilizers provide nutrition. The soil itself is often depleted, compacted, and biologically dead. This approach might grow large quantities of corn and soybeans, but it creates nutritionally inferior feed that lacks the complex micronutrients animals need. Industrial agriculture relies heavily on chemical fertilizers, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium applied in synthetic forms. These chemicals provide basic plant growth, but do nothing to build soil health. In fact, they often damage soil structure, kill beneficial microorganisms, and create dependencies where plants can't access nutrients without continued chemical applications. The crops grown on this soil might look abundant, but are nutritionally hollow compared to plants grown in healthy living soil. Amish farmers understand that soil is a living ecosystem, not just dirt. Their pastures are managed to build soil health continuously. They use rotational grazing, moving cows through different paddocks so grass has time to recover between grazing sessions. This prevents overgrazing while ensuring grass is eaten at optimal nutritional stages. The cow manure left behind feeds the soil naturally, providing nutrients in forms that microorganisms can process. These healthy soils produce pastures that are incredibly diverse and nutrient-dense. Instead of monoculture grass, Amish pastures contain dozens of plant species, various grasses, legumes like clover and alfalfa, deep-rooted herbs, and other plants. This diversity is intentional. Different plants access different soil nutrients. Some fix nitrogen from the air, others bring up minerals from deep in the earth. Together, they create a nutritional buffet far superior to any manufactured feed. The micronutrient content in pasture raised from healthy soil is dramatically higher. Selenium, zinc, copper, cobalt, and dozens of other trace minerals that cows need are naturally present in proper ratios. These micronutrients support immune function, hormone production, and metabolic processes crucial for milk production. Cows eating this diverse pasture naturally balance their nutrition, selecting plants that provide what their bodies need. Soil health also affects the beneficial bacteria and microorganisms that cows consume while grazing. These probiotics support healthy gut function and help cows digest their food more efficiently. The connection between soil microbiome and cow gut microbiome is direct and vital. Healthy soil creates healthy plants that support healthy animals. Amish farmers also practice what's called conservation agriculture, minimizing soil disturbance, maintaining ground cover, and building organic matter continuously. Their pastures often have topsoil depths twice what's found on conventional farms, with dark, rich earth teeming with earthworms and microbial life. So there you have it, the real secret behind why Amish cows produce 3 times more milk. It's not about technology or science. It's about respect, patience, and working with nature instead of against it. If this opened your eyes to traditional wisdom, smash that like button and subscribe to Amish Forge for more incredible insights. Drop a comment telling me which factor surprised you most. Until next time, keep questioning modern methods and discovering timeless truth.